Well, hello everybody. I'm doing more things with my hot chili peppers. Making some hot pepper jelly. Actually, the batch of hot pepper jelly which you're about to watch me make is batch number 2. I deleted all the video for the first batch. It was a recipe that I had never used before. I think I followed the recipe accurately. I was going to do it because it made a larger quantity than what this batch makes. It didn't gel at all. I was about to throw it out, and I thought, well, I'll taste it. You know, it's pretty good. It's like a sweet and sour sauce, only a hot sweet and sour sauce. So I have myself 3 jars of hot sweet and sour sauce, and now I have the hot pepper jelly that I wanted the first time around. Also, I have harvested some blue Russian potatoes and cooked those so you get to see what they look like. And the final bit is dehydrating some of my tomatoes to make a tomato soup base. That's about it, I guess. I'll show you how I make my hot pepper jelly. I'm making a batch of hot pepper jelly. Probably not that big a batch, 3 or 4 pint jars, I guess. And the recipe that I'm using is available on recipes.com. Making sure that I got that right. I think I have. Yes, recipes.com. And it recommends, of course, using a lot less of the hot chilies than I'm going to use. Altogether, it's around 600 grams of peppers, and it recommends using both red and green sweet peppers and the hot chilies. I'm going to use all of these hot chilies, and then I'm going to bring up the balance to 600 grams with the sweet peppers, just because I want this to be a little on the spicy side. And these are hot, but they're not frightfully hot. They're just a comfortable heat. I use all the seeds in, and in canning them, the pickled peppers that I did, they turned out very nice, so I think this will probably work out pretty well too. I'm going to be working in the metric system, but if you go to recipes.com and look at the recipe there, just do a search for pepper jelly, and it will make it available to you in the English system as well. I ended up with just about exactly 50-50, 300 grams of the red hot chilies, the what are they called, Big Bomb cherry chilies, and 300 grams of the green sweet bell pepper. So I'm going to chop the red ones first here. I may have to wipe that down a bit and whir it once more, but I think it's pretty well done, and I won't make you watch me do the green ones in the interest of making this as brief as possible. Well, the first step in the cooking process is to put all of the pepper mixture. I've mixed them together, the green and the red hot. And I think I said I didn't leave the seeds in the green, but I did leave all of the seeds in the hot. This goes in a saucepan, a heavy bottom saucepan over high heat. 1 cup, 235 milliliters of apple cider vinegar. And it says 500 grams of powdered pectin. Well, the powdered pectin package has, did I say 500 or 50? 50 grams is what it's supposed to be of the powdered pectin. And our packages here come with 57 grams, so this is going to get an extra 7 grams. I hope that doesn't make a great difference. And you bring this to a full boil, which will take a few minutes, and I will come back at that point. So now that it has come to a full rolling boil, you add 1 kilogram, 1,000 grams of white sugar, and stir constantly until it returns once again to a full rolling boil. At that point you let it boil for 1 minute, and then you get it into your canning jars. So I will bring you back when I'm ready to put this in the canning jars. Well, it has finished its 1 minute full boil, full rolling boil. Some foam down in there that I suppose I should be skimming off, but stuff is just for me, so I don't bother. I have 4 pint jars prepared. I don't think there's enough there for 4 jars, but we get whatever we get, I guess. Getting all the foam in this first jar. That's alright. Once I have the lids on these and the rings, have them tightly screwed on the jar, this goes into a hot water canner. And once the canner returns to a full boil, it cans for 5 minutes. So I will bring you back and hopefully show you finished hot jelly in the jars. Well, I guess it's good morning, everybody. I made the jelly yesterday. I'm having breakfast this morning, so I thought I would show you one of my favorite ways of eating it. It's very good with any kind of cheese, cream cheese in particular. But I like it almost anywhere, just plain on toast even. I've tasted it already, and it's not all that hot. It's got some heat in it, but I think I'm going to enjoy it. I had enough to make 2 and 2 2/3 pints, I guess. Wasn't quite enough to fill the 3rd one, so I have opened the 3rd one. I'm using it, have it in the refrigerator. Not good to brag about your own cooking, but that's very good. And these are Montreal bagels from the Saint-Viateur bakery in Montreal. In my opinion, the only real bagel available in this country. Well, I hope you try this. It's very good. This is sort of a special potato. Special to me anyway. I've never seen one or eaten one before. This is the Blue Russian. I only had one Blue Russian potato, seed potato. It was quite large, so I cut it in half and planted it in 2 different grow bags. This bag is very light. I think I've been negligent on watering them. I don't know quite what to expect. Not a great harvest, I don't think. Well, a few little ones right off the bat, and several bugs. Strange looking bugs. It's really not very big. Perhaps if these had actually been watered, something might have developed. They were very small. We had a lot of wet weather earlier, but of late it hasn't been very wet, and I guess I haven't been paying much attention to them. Lots of very tiny little things there that I won't bother to save. Interesting thing is the half a seed potato that I used is completely gone. Never came across the spoiled seed potato at all. Anyway, those are very small and not many of them. when I get them back up to the house, I'm going to cook some for dinner. Cook them all, I guess, for dinner this evening. So I'll show you what they look like then, cut open. But the one that I cut in two last spring when I was planting them was, well, more purple than blue, but a very dark color inside. So I'm just curious to see if they retain that color when you cook them. Well, that's the biggest part of today's potato harvest. Not all of them, but most of it. I wanted to show you one of the blue Russian potatoes cut in half. Very, very purple, I would say, rather than blue. I'm very curious to see whether it retains that color when cooked or not. I grow a variety of purple beans, a string bean, not a bush bean, not a pole bean, but when you cook those, they're very disappointing. They turn green like any green bean. So we'll see what these look like when they come out of the steamer here. I'll set my steamer for 30 minutes, which I think is the maximum that it will steam anyway, but put a large glass of water in. And I'll show you what the finished product is like. Well, that's two of the small blue Russians cooked, and they certainly do retain their color. I've melted some butter over them and salt and pepper. Yeah. Nice flavor, nothing unusual. I would say they were dry, sort of a potato. Probably would make a nice mashed potato. I did these skins and all, so I'm not mashing them. They are very tasty. I don't know, I might grow one pot of them next year just for the novelty of it again, I guess, but potatoes are not supposed to be purple, unless you're from Russia, I guess. I'm setting up the dehydrator to dehydrate some tomatoes. Just came back from the hoop house, or I picked everything that was ripe this morning anyway. Still lots of semi-ripe ones and lots of green ones. It looks to me like they'll probably continue to produce through most of September, if not the whole month. Not a great deal left, but I'm sure I'll get a few out of it every day anyway. My plans are to dehydrate these so that they're very dry and crispy, and do something that I've never done before anyway. I know other people have done it. I've watched their videos online, but once they're completely dry, I intend to put them in the food processor and do them up into a powder, and to use that powder in tomato soups. It sounds good. I've never tried it, so here goes. Well, all of those tomatoes, I guess it wasn't a lot of tomatoes, but I had the dehydrator pretty well full. Dehydrated down to this small amount in the bottom of the processor here. If you were going to be storing them in olive oil or whatever, you wouldn't have to dry them as much as I did, but these are dried into really chips. There was a wonderful fragrance in the house. They had to leave the thing going all night. They still smell very nice, but you have to get down to smell them now. But the house was completely covered with the lovely fragrance of tomatoes all evening. So I will now see if I can process it into some sort of a powder. I'm thinking power by looking at the power buttons here, I guess. Started on low anyway. Wow. Pulsing it seems to work a little better. I'll come back and show you the finished product. Did not produce the fine fluffy powder that I was looking for. There is some powder down in the bottom there. But, not with my food processor anyway. That was as small as I can get it. I will still use it for tomato soup. I assume that these will rehydrate as it boils in the water. And does it ever smell good? It smelled good when I was processing it too. Getting it down into that size anyway.